any general knowledge or any generalized skill set will not be appreciated a lot in next 5 6 years.
So I think that was quite a good conversation here. Thank you so much, Anuj, for being on our show. And just anything which you would like to address to our viewers if they are watching the podcast, anything would like to say about ZoodleMe or about this?
It is one thing saying that LLMs has made everything democratized or AI, but end of the day it is owned by large corporates, right? Whatever people say about being overhyped, I would say it is still underhyped.
Today we have an extensively experienced guest with us, who is the founder of ZoodleMe, Mr. Anuj Kumar Yadav. And I welcome you to the AI Bros show, Anuj. How's it going at your end? Let's start with that.
Thank you, Kev. Thank you. It feels nice to hear extensively experienced. I have spent more than a decade in the industry, so yeah, I would
Yeah.
take it as compliment. It's going good. It's going well. Sunday, quite Sunday, and I'm looking forward to this conversation. So
Mm, yeah.
let's see how it goes. Yeah.
Sure, sure. So let's start with your personal journey so that our audience could get well versed about uh, your background. And let's start with how did you started from Bhubaneswar, then to Chennai, and then eventually you're at Sydney right now. So tell us something about that.
Yes, yes. I mean, I have been lucky enough to live in, I think, 18 to 20 states of India. So my dad was
Mm-hmm.
in Indian Air Force, so he kept getting transferred to different states. So originally I'm from Gorakhpur, Uttar Pradesh, though I have never lived there because of my dad's job. I remember my early, if I can remember my early childhood, like class 2 or 3, I was in Nasik. Oh, sorry,
Mm-hmm.
Adampur, Punjab. From there, we moved to Nasik in Maharashtra, and then we moved to Kalaikunda, Kharagpur. So I kept on moving to different states, and then while I was at Kharagpur, I told my parents that I want to study in a boarding school. I would have seen some movie that time, and I requested. My parents, being in defense, right, first thought came to them was Sainik school. So boarding school means Sainik school. So I gave exam for Sainik school. I got into a next. That's how I moved into Bhubaneswar. So Sainik school Bhubaneswar. So there are at that point in time there were 18 Sainik schools. I think there are more now. But yes, Sainik school Bhubaneswar is where I studied from 6th till 12th, and it was a boarding school. All my schooling, one of the best days of my life. Boarding schools are anyway good. From there, when I completed my 12th, in between my dad got transferred from Kharagpur to I think he went to Bangalore, and then from Bangalore he went to Coimbatore. So it was not Chennai actually; it was Coimbatore where I spent most of my time in Tamil Nadu. So Coimbatore is where I did my engineering, right? And uh, so Coimbatore, Chennai, they are close by, and so most of my interaction with Tamil culture or Tamil Nadu or Tamil people happen in Coimbatore, then Chennai. And I got into Infosys as a campus placement, then moved to Mysore, then changed another organization, went to Deloitte. So based on whatever job or wherever my parents were, I kept on moving to different states or cities. Then I did my MBA in Rajasthan. MBA is an interesting story basically. So while I was at Deloitte, I was looking for an MBA course, and I found out ICICI Bank is sponsoring a MBA course. The process is same like that. You give a written exam, you do GD interview, but they're going to sponsor your entire MBA, and not only that, they're going to pay you stipends when you are studying, and then they'll give you a job with a fixed salary. And I think at that point it was 15 lakhs per annum. It was a pretty good. I'm talking about 2014, so it was a pretty decent signature at that point in time. So that's how I joined ICICI Bank. The only catch was you have to be there for 3 years to pay off your tuition fees or the education fees for MBA, and then you're free to move on. So there at ICICI Bank, I met few people there, and that is where I got introduced to a CEO of a startup called Datum Solutions. And this CEO was looking for someone who can handle their project deliveries in Australia. And he asked me if I'm interested. Coincidentally enough, the projects which he was working on in Australia, primarily BPM, ECM, OCR, we can discuss more about it if you want to, but um, in those lines, he was delivering projects, and those were the projects I was handling at ICICI Bank. So it came very easy to me. I was like, yeah, why not? Australia is a good place anyway, and that's how I moved to Australia. And once I moved here, I liked it. I've decided I'm going to be here. So I have been here since then. It's more than 5 years now, and I'm loving this place. Yeah, so that's a very quick background of my schooling, my quick job, or traveling. Or,
Interesting.
Yes, so you mentioned about like you have been to 17 states and then now currently into Australia. So जैसा हिंदी में बोलते हैं ना घाट घाट का पानी पिया है.
yes,
So it's like you have literally done that, and it
yes.
seems you have
When I
an extensive experience in that also.
when someone tells me about diversity, no one understands it better than me.
Like, yeah, you have a
Exactly.
culturally diversified
Yes,
roots from India, right?
yes, yes, yes.
Great,
Almost
great.
from north till south, east. I've covered. My wife is Bengali, so West Bengal.
Okay.
Yeah, I've covered enough space.
Okay.
Okay. Fine, fine. So, what about your corporate journey, like in terms of like currently where you are? So, how it started, and then where are you currently? So, can you give us some insights on that?
Yeah, yeah. I'll quickly take you through my corporate journey as well. So, like I said, after engineering, I got into Infosys, and I graduated in 2008. If you remember 2008, that global meltdown, that was the year I graduated. So, Infosys
Mm-hmm.
generally used to give 3 months of training, but because of
Mm.
that meltdown, we had 6 months of training. So, I was in Mysore, like one of the best campus in the world, I can say. So, I was there in Mysore, Infosys Mysore, then Infosys Hyderabad, and again via Infosys I went to Pune. I was in Pune, then from Pune I went to Bangalore. All this was happening in Infosys. So like within Infosys I saw four states, right? And then I worked there for 2 years. I started as a J2 Java, J2EE Java programmer, RDBMS and all. Then I moved on to PeopleSoft. PeopleSoft is an ERP, if you guys are aware of.
Mm-hmm.
It's primarily for HR operations, but it also has supply chain, finance, and everything. I think now
Mm.
Oracle has merged it into a
Yeah,
Oracle
Oracle has taken over. Yeah.
uh,
Mm.
bigger ERP umbrella. But yeah, I was working for that. So from Infosys, I moved on to Deloitte, again as a PeopleSoft uh, developer. I worked there for an year, more than a year, and like I said earlier, I got to know about ICICI Bank MBA course. So after Deloitte, I joined the MBA program. 2 years of MBA, then joined ICICI Bank, and that is where the switch happened. And that is where I realized that as a developer, we know so much less about what we are doing and why we are doing. So as a developer,
Mm.
you would have been given a task that you code this functionality. Why are we coding? What is the bigger picture around it? We don't get to know.
Mm-hmm.
So when I joined ICICI Bank, I joined in a project management business analysis space where I was handling retail banking, most part of retail banking. And there
Mm.
I saw that one feature you implement can impact lakhs of customers. Right? I
Mm.
remember at one point we implemented a feature for OCR, optical character recognition, and we were able
Yeah.
to onboard more than 30,000 savings account in a single day with just 5 types of document. 30,000 is a huge number if you come out of India and talk. When you it,
Mm.
30,000 is like monthly volume in Western countries. Every
Okay.
day we used to do that. So
Mm.
I realized there that if we use tech, the scale is amazing. So I mean,
Mm-hmm.
unless you think of the work which you do from a larger perspective, right, you will not know how big the work you're doing. And that's why even for developer, they should know why they're doing what they're doing. So ICICI Bank was a turning point in my career as well. understanding basically the impact of the work. And at ICICI Bank, I got to learn about automation. So started with OCR, moved into RPA. Of course,
Mm.
APIs were there. So, and then after ICICI Bank, I joined a startup, like I mentioned earlier, Datum Solutions. That was again into OCR and more into cognitive learning. So basically, I'll give you a quick example. So most of the
Mm-hmm.
uh, corporates will have to process invoices, and they'll
Mm.
have like hundreds of vendors, right?
Mm.
Each invoice has to be processed manually. But what if we
Mm.
have an engine on on if we train that engine with thousands of variations of invoices, when any new invoice comes in, that engine reads it, take the data and put it in their SAP system. No manual intervention, right? So those
Mm.
type of cognitive learning and all I got introduced to in that startup. Primarily
Mm.
automating document verification, document reading process. And that is where my journey from automation got in more deeper as to there are a lot of things in corporate which can be automated if we try to do. I mean, there are enough inefficiencies in corporate world. So yeah,
Mm.
so I joined Datum Solutions. I did some project in India. I was in US for some time. US was a eye opening. Before moving to Australia, I was in US for 6 7 months, and I realized those guys are pretty quick at adopting technology. So by the time
Mm-hmm.
we are learning about it, they are testing
Mm.
about it. They're testing it. They're
Mm.
implementing it, and then they're seeing whether it is good or not. So that
Mm.
thing
So
is
that's
also
a comparison between US and India, or Australia and
actually Australia and
US.
US. India is
Okay.
Okay.
still quicker than Australia to adopt technologies, but
Okay.
India is very cost sensitive, which US
Mm-hmm.
is not. So India waits for
Mm.
a inexpensive solution to try out. On the other
Mm.
hand, US just tries out. At least
Mm.
this has been my experience. It can be different for different individuals, but that's what I saw with, and that's why they when they pick up a technology, they know whether it is good or not, and they move ahead with whether good or not, leave it and move ahead with next one. They won't be planning for months and all. Australia is like pretty slow, like very slow in
Mm.
that regard, right?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
Mm.
and then I moved to Australia from that startup. After coming here, some of the projects of that startups were like slowing down. So I joined Australian banks. I had banking background anyway, retail banking more so. So here I got to work with top three banks of Australia, like Commonwealth Bank, ANZ Bank, Pacific Bank. I also got an opportunity to work with government agencies after coming to Australia, and I
Mm.
realized the lot of work these government agencies do. I mean, I have never worked in any of the government agencies in India, so I can't compare. But they do a lot of work, and their processes and the system. I mean, it's easy to blame them for they being slow, but the kind of
Mm.
securities they have to take care of, the kind of personal data they have, and they have to be very serious about that data. They
Mm-hmm.
have to be slow. They can't be running fast.
Mm.
And I know the attacks on these global agencies comes from different countries. I mean, you can guess which countries I'm talking about. But
Mm.
yeah, so this they have to worry about their security and privacy a lot. So that actually increased my respect for government employees. They are doing a lot of work which we don't get to see
Yeah.
outside.
Yeah.
In the back end, they're doing a lot.
Uh,
So, yeah, so
mm.
that's where I work with a lot of government agencies, and now I'm working for a IT consulting firm called Mantle Group. It's a Australian-based consulting firm.
Mm.
And when I decided to start my own ZoodleMe, I spoke to the management, and they were pretty supportive. They were like, "Yeah, go ahead, and we will support in whatever ways we can." So I mean, can't complain. I've been lucky here. So yeah, that's has been a very quick journey of my corporate world. So,
Mm. Sounds interesting. So, I have this question in my mind. So,
mhm,
since we discussed the adoption of tech right now in different sectors, different regions of the globe, we say Australia, we say US, we say India, right? Back in those days where AI was not that advanced, we remember that OCR was not that developed,
mhm,
to get the accurate accuracy of the data, right?
No.
So these days AI is advanced, is advancing exponentially, right? So
Right.
tell me, with your experience, the adoption of AI into the higher authorities or corporates, let's say banks, in with respect to Australia and US, and if you can give a comparison of India as well, how conscious they are with the adoption of new technologies in these areas.
See, when you talk about OCR, these are
Hmm.
like easy tech to play around with because the data
Hmm.
remains with you, and these
Hmm.
are low risk tech, right? If it fails,
Hmm.
you do it manually.
Hmm.
With AI, though we talk a lot about AI, we
Hmm.
still, from corporate point of view, right, data privacy, data leak, and all,
Hmm.
corporate are still not very confident about using it right away into the system, right?
Hmm.
Exactly.
We don't. Corporates are worried because most of the time, for large corporates, their SOPs are their moat, right?
Hmm.
For them to train an engine on SOPs is like giving away their moat for large corporate.
Hmm.
On the other hand, I can give you a very interesting example of working with the large corporates who are using LLM to automate their claims processing. Now, this is very
Hmm.
interesting that they have been very smart in implementing this. So, let's just say, and I'll not take the name of the clients and everything for obvious reasons, but I'll give you a good example. So, see, processing a claim. If if I have submitted a claim of say $200, now, for that claims to be manually processed, someone will have to go through all the documents, whether this is following all the policies or not. That manual effort of processing the 200 claim will be more than $500 or $1,000,
Exactly. Yeah.
and eventually you end up paying the $200, right? So what these
Hmm.
guys have done, so they have built three layers. First layer is straightforward business validations, where if there are 10 logics, if it is passing all the logic, just pay the claim, don't ask more. Then there is a second layer. If there is some confusion, then get the documents, integrate with the third party providers whether what customer is saying is true or not, and then pay off. Then comes the complexity, where they have trained a open source LLM. First they have hosted the LLM into their cloud to ensure that data doesn't go out. Then they have
Hmm.
trained that LLM with more than 10 years of their own claims data as to what kind of claims were rejected, what kinds of claims were accepted, what are the edge cases, and then more than 90% of low ticket claims, like less than $1,000 claims, are automated. So you see the kind of cost saving. So use cases
Hmm.
wise, there is, for corporate worlds, there are amazing use cases. They can just leverage it, and they are going to do it. They have just started it, and I gave you one example.
Hmm.
Right? It will blow up. It's just that at this moment, the data security. Say for instance, this claim processing. Now, if this
Hmm.
entire thing goes out in the market, their entire SOP will go out as to how they
Correct.
process, what they do. So they have to be
Hmm.
very
Careful about it.
worry about the
Hmm.
data leak and all. So,
Security and all.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Hmm.
but they're doing their work. Every large corporate has a parallel vertical setup to look into AI use cases, and it will come up next 2 years, 3 years, and I'm seeing it. At least for coding and all, they've started using. Like
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
GitHub Copilot is there almost with everybody.
Yes.
Hmm.
So yeah, it is there, and many new cases will come up.
Hmm. And maybe for the corporates the case can be that, what I think is that AI is not mature enough right now to handle such complex scenarios, or to work at a certain security level in a way that it could segregate things out between the common man and the enterprise level. So I think maybe companies are worried about that area as well, because the maturity of AI is not that high right now, even though we are advancing day by day. But the maturity level of there are still certain areas where AI hallucinates a lot. So
Yeah,
that can be a threat to many companies out there, especially in the insurance and claims area, right?
yeah. I mean, you are right, but think of AI as a solutions already there looking for problems,
Okay.
right? So at one point you're right, but then there are a lot of other problems which are low
mm,
risk,
mm,
like an employee reaching HR as to asking for policies. They don't have to.
mm,
It
mm,
can be
mm,
automated. Out of 10 HR team, they can manage with 3 HR team.
mm,
Out
mm,
of
mm,
50 legal team, they can manage with 10 legal teams. So these things are, and I'm not saying this out of nowhere. I have experienced this personally, and it is
mm,
coming
mm,
out there. So you are right. They nobody has seen a major uh, failure of AI, and that's what they're worried about, how bad it can fail, and hence they're taking it slow. But nobody is
mm.
for sure.
So
All right.
everyone wants to ride the train, but they want to check whether they are onto the right journey or not.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
It's an interesting time though. Yeah,
Okay,
Yeah,
yeah.
definitely.
Experimenting,
And
yeah.
if you see, you have been into this automation space quite early, where now
yeah,
people are talking about automation. Earlier, the RPAs and the BPAs, the business process automation or robotic process automation, was a kind of very rare in organizations. And
yeah, yeah.
yeah, it's an interesting time. We'll talk about it more
Yes,
Yeah.
with your
of
experience
course,
in
of course.
future questions.
Definitely,
No
definitely.
problem.
So like we'll discuss many things about AI in the further conversation. Let's first stick to a particular thing that you have actually, as you described your personal as well as your professional background here. We can clearly see that you have lived a professional life which every Indian Indian software engineer or any Indian working professional aspires to live, right? Working with so many esteemed organizations, then moving out and then handling things at such great level. So this is some milestone that you have already achieved at your end, right? So after achieving that milestone, you have embarked at the entrepreneurship journey right now. So tell me what inspired you to make this shift from your well settled life to go to an entrepreneurship pathway right there.
Yeah, I like the term well settled life. I'll use it to explain what. So there are two situations where you can take high risk. Once when you have when you are a fresher and you are just coming
Right.
out, you can take high risk. Other time when you have enough experience to take that risk, and when you know what kind of risk you're taking about. So maybe I'm at the second stage. But yeah, you're right. Moving abroad is a good experience, and I would like, if anybody can have it, they rather have it, and then they can decide for whether they want to be outside or move go back to India. But yeah, it is a good experience, and primarily when you're in a tech field, tech is like a global solution, right? So it is always good to go around the world and see how world is adopting to tech. So for me, it has been a pretty positive journey, though it has its own pros and cons, to be honest. But I have seen more pros than cons. And initially, when we came here, so we were well settled in India. You get a lot of help in India, right? You have your relatives, plus you get house help and everything. When we came here, it was a shocker. Like, you have to clean your house, you have to do your dishes, you have to cook your own food and all. It was overwhelming, but then you realize after doing all these things, you still have time. I don't know how, but it is what it is, right? And when I moved to Australia I moved around like late 2019. So, and
Mm,
next year COVID started, so we started working from home. So we had more time.
mm,
So the more the time, you either do something constructive or you just waste it watching TV or something. So first 2 years went wasting that time. Didn't do anything productive, honestly.
Hmm.
But the change
mm,
happened when ChatGPT was launched late 2022, right? And I generally adopt tech quickly. So I will be among the early adopters of any new tech. You call it VR glasses or anything else. So when ChatGPT
mm,
came, I started playing around with ChatGPT, and I figured that time itself that this is something interesting. I didn't know that it will break out to be like this, but it is something interesting because it was able to converse. And since I have worked on automations earlier, like RPA, like OCR, other things, NLP, cognitive learning, and all. So in cognitive
Mm-hmm.
learning, we used to train engine on emails or Word documents. And when this started responding to the context, I figured this can solve a lot of problems, which I have
Hmm.
experienced during my automation journey. So I started learning more about it. And AI in general, every quarter started changing really fast. And this was the time when I was parallelly, my daughter, she is 8 now, was also growing up. And my daughter, it has been a good influence for me to, do ZoodleMe. And I'll tell you why. So I have a girl child. Now the thing is, with girl child, I'll give you a very interesting example. My wife is a big fan of Tintin comics. If you
Hmm.
have read Tintin comics, no strong female character is there in Tintin comics, even though it is globally popular.
Correct, correct.
Mm-hmm.
And while my wife was reading, she was like, what example should I give to our daughter? There is no strong female character. And this problem we have faced earlier also. Whenever we try looking for storybooks or any content, male to female character ratio in storybooks is 80 to 20.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Most of the strong female characters have come in last 30, 40 years.
Hmm.
So for me to give an example about something to my daughter has become a challenge. So here I'm learning about AI. Here I'm saying this challenge, and then I was using AI to teach few concept. As to if I have to talk, if I tell her teach her about any concept in a way she understands, I can quickly ask ChatGPT to cook up something for me to explain her in terms of making a girl child or a female as a lead, or find a
Hmm.
female from the history and create a story around it. And that is when I said, right, technology can solve problem at scale. So I
Mm-hmm.
realized if I am facing this problem, everybody would have been facing this problem, right? And not only that, when you generally talk to a child, when I explain her about a maths concept, I'll tell her you have, for example, if I'm explaining her about fractions, so you have 10 apples, your friend have 10 apples. So I'm giving her real time examples, right?
Hmm.
So this entrepreneurship journey had started because I was explaining her some real life example. I'm like, if I can do it at scale with technology, because all parents do the same thing,
Right.
they
Mm-hmm.
will give some real life
Hmm.
examples, right?
Hmm.
If I can do this at scale, so that's how that thought came. As how can I use
Hmm.
tech? And then more I started thinking about it, more solution I started getting. And I mean, it is not, I've not disclosed it, but I have also started earlier another company in travel domain. I can give you more
Hmm.
details if you want to. But yeah, I just gave that idea in between because I was not able to relate a lot to it. This one I was able to relate because of my daughter. So that pulled me into this product and entrepreneurship, basically trying to solve my personal problem at scale using tech.
Hmm. Interesting,
That's my
interesting
story.
story.
It's interesting.
Yeah. So, since we are on the page of ZoodleMe, let's talk about it. Let's start the discussion of ZoodleMe now. So, I would like you to know pitch our audience about ZoodleMe if you're comfortable in that. So, just to have a broader aspect, brief understanding about ZoodleMe, because many of parents like you must be seeing this podcast in the future. Many youngsters would be seeing this podcast. So, just give a great explanation of what ZoodleMe is and who is it for.
Yes, yes. I'll give you a funny story before I give you the
Okay.
pitch. So
Okay.
before I started this, right, I was talking to one of my friends, senior. He's very senior, ex Googler and all, lives in California, and he talks to founders or CEOs and all. So he has network
Hmm.
there. So I told him that I'm doing something like this, and I gave him 15-20 minutes of what I'm planning to do, and he's like, dude, if you can't explain this in one sentence, it means you're not clear about your product. So tell me in one sentence. So I will tell you in one sentence. Right?
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
In
Okay.
one sentence, ZoodleMe is a hyper personalized content platform that helps parents. The keyword is parents, not kids. That helps
Okay.
parents explain a concept to their kids in a fun, engaging, personalized, relatable way. Anything, but not in a boring way. Right?
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
In
Mm-hmm.
short, this is what we are trying to do. Right? Again, I'm not telling you it's a bedtime story, it's a story platform. It is not. It is a content creation for parents for their kids. So
Hmm.
this is one liner as to what we are trying to do. Now, if I have to explain this, of course, we are trying to create personalized content for kids. To start with, targeting 2 to 12 years of age. This age is important as a parent. This my personal experience has been, because this is where most of the beliefs gets established into kids' brain.
Yeah.
So this
Hmm.
time is important, and this is my personal theory. It, I mean, parenting in general is going to become difficult, and I'll tell you why I feel this. I am
Hmm.
among the last of the generations, Afzal will relate with this, who has lived their childhood without devices. So we know a
Hmm.
life which
Exactly.
was without devices. The parents who will
Hmm.
be there in next 5, 6, 10 years have seen devices from the time they were born.
Correct.
I don't know how they will be able to say to their kids that don't use devices. I can say because
Hmm.
I've lived my life. So I know
Yeah.
that way.
You can give a reasoning for that.
Right? They will have no reasoning. So going forward, it is going to be very difficult for parents not to give devices. I do that. They can't. So kids are going to have devices. Now the problem with devices is, and this is my personal problem as well. If I ask my daughter, if my daughter is looking at YouTube Kids, she is looking at anything and everything available in YouTube Kids. Of
Hmm.
course,
Hmm.
YouTube has their own filter and all, but let's be honest, it is not one of the best. It should be,
Okay.
it is not. Same
Hmm.
goes with Netflix. It's a good content, but it is kids content. It is not aged, like only 2 years and 3 years kids will watch it. So there are content which even teenage kids are watching, which is not good for a
Hmm.
7-year old, right?
Correct.
So this is a challenge, and this is going to increase, it will not decrease. So
Exactly.
what we are trying to do
Hmm.
is,
Hmm.
we are building a platform where parents will create the filter of content. And
Okay.
then when they give the device to kid, parents are 100% sure as to what is the scope of content my kid is exposed to.
Hmm.
Even though the content is coming, and you will say that it is coming from AI, and I can explain you again as to how we are controlling all those things. But to start with, we are controlling the scope of the content, and it
Okay.
is in the hands of parents. So parents will decide that these are the topics, these are the subjects my kid will look into, these are the characters, and these are the personalization my kid will do. So the way we have designed our product as to parent, we have given all the control to parent to
Hmm.
create a profile for their child, and then give the phone to child without worrying about what they are going to see in that
Hmm.
app. So that is overall our intention is, and of course going forward we'll keep on adding more features and more
Hmm.
personalization, more customization. I can take you through a few of them. But yeah,
Hmm.
that's my theory for now, that parenting is going to get difficult.
Yeah,
Hmm.
that's really true, and I can resonate with that. And even I have seen, experienced things which has changed after COVID, when we saw that students were required to be on the devices for their classes, and that has changed a lot of things, and they were exposed to a lot of other contents, and
Exactly.
yeah, so that's the general kind of understanding from the schools also, which I have got to know. So yeah, that's a
Hmm.
really good initiative which you have taken, and
Yeah.
I hope it goes well. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. But Anuj, tell me, why did you like? I understand this is your personal interest, topic of interest, but can you explain why are you only focused on of why are you only focused on children age 2 to 12? Is there any
Hmm.
specific reason behind that other than the personal reason which you feel?
No, so yeah, I mean, so there are few reasons. For my first,
Hmm.
I'll give you my personal experience, and then I'll give
Hmm.
you the studies which I've done. So
Okay.
between 2 to 12, for a kid, again, this is coming from personal experience. Like My daughter
Hmm.
has a friends who are again 7 8 years old, right?
Hmm.
If she goes to play with some other kid,
Hmm.
now they will have siblings. Assume elder sibling, right?
Hmm.
Two
Hmm.
or 3 years elder. 2 years means 10 years old. I need to cater for that group as well. So I need to cater for everyone before teenage, because a 10-year-old kid is looking at TikTok.
Hmm.
Why? When my daughter goes to a friend's house, she comes and tell me, "Do you have TikTok in your phone?" I was like, "No, I don't." Only the thought is I have to cover the age group till teenage. After teenage, there are a lot of other issues and all. And so my simple target was till teenage, I have to cover the audience and give them filtered content, right? Another thing is, which even scientific studies says, and most of the parenting tutors, guide, coaches will tell the same thing, that till age 7, 8, kids generally form their belief system, right?
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
all the important things we need to teach them at that stage. Now, like I said, my personal theory, parenting is going to get difficult. It is going to get difficult for parents to teach basic things. And when I say basic, I'm talking about really basic: kindness, honesty, sympathy, sharing. And why it will get difficult, it is not that parents don't know all these things, but they don't have time to engage, right? In a nuclear family, and this is again
Hmm.
personal experience. People will say that how can you say parents don't have time for their kids? But you will know in India, for example, if a parent goes to office, if both the parents are working, then kids go to daycare, then they are at the mercy of what daycare teaches, right? Some
Correct.
daycares are good, they'll take care of. Some they are not good, they will not. So if parents can't, if so parents know that I need to teach something.
Hmm.
But if I give them a platform, okay, you want to teach this, this is the filter, you create your content and give it to the kid, right? So hence this target of that age group uh, where they're forming their base, their behavior, their ideas.
Hmm.
Also, this is the time when they need to understand their cultural identity. So for someone like me,
Hmm.
I moved out of India, right? If I don't show her enough content about India, which she'll not get to see on social media, and also I'll have to push her,
Definitely.
right?
Hmm.
So I can take use of this tech around me to keep
Hmm.
introducing her to any cultural, be it religious, be it regional, anything. No, I can generate the content. Why do
Right.
we celebrate this festival? Why is this state called this, is by this name? Why is India, why we are proud to be Indian? Why there are these many states? What are the languages of India? So I can use the tech and teach those, expose the kid, right? And then the way we have designed this app is, it has, you can read it, you can listen to the audio, it has images, and I can keep on talking about the features. But for MVP itself, we have added a lot of features and I can keep on talking about that if you want to. But yeah, and plus personalization, everything. So hence, basically this is the target group. And I'm not saying that we are going to limit ourselves to this age group. We are starting with this, but we have some thoughts, ideas as to how we can help kids of higher ages as well. We'll see. We'll worry about it when we get there. But yeah, let's first build something for these kids, basically these parents, not even kids.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. And this is actually very important these days, because the interest level of a child, especially at this age group, is getting very devastated with the
Mhm.
exposure of extreme content on the internet,
Exactly.
right? The children of these age groups, they are very much exposed to social media applications
Yeah.
like Snapchat, Instagram, and a lot more out there. And these are the kids who learn the technology very fast, even faster than us, right? Once they get into a game, an application, they try it once or twice, they know how to operate that
Exactly.
application, right? Yeah.
Exactly.
So it is very important at this age to get them exposed to a certain type of content
Yeah.
which might benefit them out in the future.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm.
And more importantly, if you tell them something,
Hmm.
they will not listen to you. But if that is coming from the device, they'll believe that,
Yeah.
right?
Mm.
Which is very interesting. I kept on saying broccoli is good for you. She'll not believe.
Mm.
It comes on TV. She's like, it was showing it that show that broccoli is good for health. It's like, okay. then I will go on the screen and tell what is good for you, and that's why this app is. So every parent can go on the link and tell what is good for you. Right?
I feel like in our days earlier when we used to uh, uh, say to our kids like this is good and this is bad, so they would say our teacher has said this, so that is the only thing correct. Now it has changed to the device. Now
Right.
the device has said this, so we will
Yeah. So
consider that to
device.
be true. Yeah?
Interesting.
So
Correct. So that was interesting. So tell me, if I would ask, like, if I would ask you to, describe that one inspirational spark that you believe ZoodleMe has, which made you to, make such a big transition to completely go all in into ZoodleMe. What's that one inspirational spark which you like to share with us that isn't ZoodleMe?
yeah, yeah. I'll tell you this. The main reason of
Hmm.
I started thinking more. So in Australia, we take a lot of long trips. When I say long, means 8 hours, 10 hours, Sydney to
Mm-hmm.
Melbourne, Sydney to Adelaide,
Okay.
15
Okay.
hours. During those trips, right? As an adult, you can listen to songs or listen to podcast.
Hmm.
What will a kids
Hmm.
do? What will a kid do? What kind of uh, content you have for them? So this was one of the trip we were going from Sydney to Melbourne, and we tried YouTube. We like made her listen to some of the stories, same old stories about princess, prince, and all. Same stories which we have heard. Nothing has changed, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then I thought, okay, maybe I'll. We have enough time, and she knows less about India, so maybe I'll make her listen about freedom fighters, because in India we get to learn about them. Outside it's very difficult, right? Because those
Yeah.
are very Indian specific heroes.
Hmm.
So I started searching for Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose, because that is what I started searching for first. I could not find a good content,
Mm-hmm.
right? Then
Hmm.
when I started searching for recent, and for recent time also, there is no good content for kid, for recent leaders as well. There are content, but they are not designed for kids to sit and listen for 15-20 minutes in an engaging way, right? And then I
Mm-hmm.
quickly chat gpt, and I got a content which was decent. Then I gave more prompt, it kept on improving.
Hmm.
Then I realized, okay, it is not only about filtering the content, it is also about creating a good content. So then I came home, I thought I will create something for her. So I created an audio file for her. I made her listen with images and all, and she liked. And that is a thought, okay, content wise also there is a problem. It is not just the quality, even the quantity. There's no quantity. A good quantity as well, right? And more so going forward, like India as a country, we have not done a great job of preserving the legacy of our forgotten heroes, right? There are few whom we celebrate a lot, and then there are few whom we like completely forget.
Mm-hmm.
So that is where, if we have to do that, this will again be a platform where each. So for example, uh, say yeah, you belong to one part of India, so you will know some local leaders from that part of India or from your
Right.
community, and you want your kid to learn. Now you have technology which knows everything of the world. You
Hmm.
just have to tell what you want from there, so you can teach them. So that was the reason as to, if I want my daughter to learn about Netaji, or learn about PT Usha, or learn about Abdul Kalam, or learn about, see, any figure which I personally feel is important for the nation, right? Maybe historians don't feel, maybe the uh, journalists don't feel, or maybe the writers don't, but I feel that they are important. I want my
Hmm.
daughter to learn about them. So that was the main issue with me, as to I'm not able to teach her the things I want to teach her. I'll have to sit with her and explain her, and then she'll not listen to me. Like I said, if I tell her broccoli is healthy, she'll not believe. Someone else has to tell her. So that was the main thing, that I have to do something about it. Then when I started doing,
Hmm.
this thing came up as to build using technology, you can scale it. So all those things came up, and then AI has solved the problem of scaling. It's all about
Hmm.
using it in a better way. So,
Interesting. It's interesting. Yeah, that is actually something which should definitely spark the interest into ZoodleMe, because if you have a ready problem around you, and you have that capability to solve it out through your knowledge or through any kind of technology, that is definitely, that should be pursued for
Yeah.
sure. So how has the response of parents been who are using ZoodleMe? Please tell us about that.
Yeah, I mean, it is too early to give a lot of feedback, but I did receive few, not
Yeah.
few, and enough feedback to share with you.
Mm.
One feedback which stands out for me is, one parent said, "Now at least I'm able to replace my YouTube time with this product." This is what I
Mm-hmm.
want actually, to
Mm.
replace the YouTube with this. They want screen. Kids don't want YouTube. They want something on screen
Interesting
to
to watch.
enjoy,
Yeah.
because their friends are
Mm.
enjoying on screen. You give them anything which is entertaining and you teach them in process, they'll still enjoy. So, and so what we have done in our app is, and I'll take this opportunity to advertise my app, right? So what you have done in personalization, right? You can add a location. So the story can have backdrop of say Sydney or say India. Not only India, you can be as local as a city or a town name. So that city, the story will be based in that town. Then you can add
Mm.
characters. So you can add names of the character. Then you can upload the photos of the characters. Now, if I
Mm.
upload my photo in a story and I say Anuj in bracket father, now what we are doing is we are taking that photo and we are just reading the outline of that image as to whether this person is wearing glasses or not, whether this person has beard and all. And then when we generate an image, this image will be somewhat similar to the photo which has been uploaded, so more relatable, right?
Mm-hmm.
So a kid when generate content, so we are not exactly copying the entire image, but we are generating a relatable image. So that interests the kid as to, okay, this guy is my dad, and now he's also in the story. My friend is also in the story, and we are in our hometown. My grandmother is also in the story. Then she comes back and tell me, I generated a story where you were there, or my friend was there.
Mm.
So we are doing that, and then in between we also have options of creating quizzes. So while the story is going on, it will ask a question about the story, and then we can see whether kid is enjoying or not through that. If they're responding to the quizzes, we'll know that they're engaged. If not, we will uh, make something else. What else we have done is there are many stories for kids. For example, where uh, princess is waiting for prince to save her. So what we have done is just change the narrative that princess fought for her right and came victorious. Doesn't have to wait for any prince. We can change the story, right? We can do anything and everything. So we are playing around with that as well. So these
Mm.
things. So she comes back and tell that, okay, there was a story, where she waited for prince. In this story, she fought with the monster. So,
Mm.
and that is the one thing a parent also told me, that I'm able to change the content, and she's able to engage. So, yeah. So for now, these are the early feedbacks which we are really happy about, and we'll see how it goes on. We are trying to add more personalization or more things to engage kids with
Okay.
the content. So yeah.
So let's take it step by step, like just to understand how the whole application works.
Mhm.
So let's say I have to download it on my phone, and now what would be the next step? Like, can you share some
Yeah.
details and simple
Yeah.
steps, like
Yeah.
how or who would be using, either parents or children, and what should be the
Yes. Yes.
steps then?
So when you first time download the app, I'm assuming it will be a parent who will download the app or any adult who will download the app, right? So the moment you create your account as a parent,
Mm-hmm.
you will create a parent account. In that parent account, you will have options to add kids. If you have more than one kid, add more than one kid. But at least one kid is there in the free version itself. You can add a kid in a free version. Once you have added a kid, then you create a profile for the kid, where what is the age of the profile, what is the gender of the profile, what kind of stories, or not kind, but like, do you want short story, medium story, or long stories for the kid? What kind of ending you want? You want happy ending, moral ending, open ending? You want a
Mm.
complex stories? And then, do you want a location background? So you
Mm-hmm.
give all those. So basically, when you are creating entire profile for the kid, then you are
Mm-hmm.
also adding characters. So you can add 10 characters
Mm-hmm.
for that kid, and you are then selecting. So we have predefined subjects, and for each subjects we have topics. You select subjects, you select topics. So say for example, for 1 week parents want kid to only focus on 5 subjects, select those 5 subjects and select topics under those subjects. Now that entire kid profile is created. Now if
Okay.
parent wants, they can protect their profile using a pin code, right?
Mm.
And if they are creating more than one kid's profile, each profile can be protected using a pin code. So if parent has 2 kids, one elder, one younger, each profile can be protected using pin codes. It is non-mandatory, but it can be. Now they can give this app phone to the kid to play around. So when kids open the app, they will see two options: parent or child. If the kid selects parent, they can't go inside because it has a pin. They'll select child. So
Mm-hmm.
they will know, either they'll know their pin or there is no pin. So they, when they get in and when they generate story, they know for which subject they can generate, for which topic they can generate, and they can, there are 10 characters, they can select the characters or they can ignore the characters. Those things kids can decide, right? And then click on generate, and then it generates the story right away. So it takes from 55 to 60 seconds. What we have done during that 55-60 seconds of wait time is that there is an option for kids to play games, mini games or puzzles. So they can play jigsaw puzzles, they can do some memory games, they can do basic addition, multiplication. So by the time they do 1 round or 2 round of the game, they'll get a pop-up as your story is ready and start story. And then story is ready, they can either read it or they can listen to it. And then there's the option of autoplay. So just select autoplay and leave the phone, and it will keep on reading the story. You don't have to hold the phone in your
Mm.
hand and click next and all. And once done, if parent has selected quizzes for the kid, then quizzes will pop up. If parents has not selected, then there won't be any quiz. And story will get over. They give their feedback. And for each stories which we generate, what we have also done is, if there are any complex words, then we highlight those complex words with underline. So if kids can't understand the meaning of that word, just select that word and it will give the meaning with audio. So they can play the audio as well as to what is the meaning of this word,
Mm-hmm.
and then they can move ahead.
Mm.
So this I'm talking just for MVP, right? We are going to make a lot of other features, but yeah. So
Mm.
So as of now,
overall,
you are telling the stories in the form of text and in the form of audio.
yes,
So in
with
future,
images.
maybe there could be videos or some kind of
There will be.
Animations.
yeah.
We are already
Mm.
parallelly working on it. There will be. We don't want to hurry with video for one primary reason is images more or less have gotten better, but in video I don't want to see a, how do I say this, a deformed character, or a character running with one hand left behind and the entire body
Mm-hmm.
has
Mm-hmm.
and front. So,
Mm.
so we are experimenting with the models. We have to also take care of the cost, and we also have to take care of the speed. Like, this story gets generated in 50-60 seconds, so we can't make a kid, wait, make them wait for 10, 20, 30 minutes. So we'll have to either do
Mm.
a they give an option and then we generate and keep it ready, or we have to do something. So we are looking at a lot of options, but there will be
Mm.
100%.
Mm.
Yeah, see, I mean, so I think that's the future also. Even the entertainment industry,
Oh
maybe
yes,
it will also move towards that once we have the
Mm.
refined videos. I think Google just launched one of their LLM model, video model, which is really interesting, but it's not for the public right now. But it is kind of on the same track which you are also onto, like maybe in future that we may see
You
in
will
your
see. You will
product.
see very soon.
Yeah.
You will see probably. Maybe by end of this year. You don't know, but we are
Definitely.
trying. It is see Google is that's a good model, and in fact, I was trying that model yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it is not for public, but if you have Google account and
The
all.
API is not for public right now. They are kind
Mm.
of keeping it with them, or maybe the elites,
No, no.
which
If
they
you have
want to
Google
share.
account, if you have Google Cloud account, you'll have to give your card details and all. We use
Mm-hmm.
Google anyway, so we have that. I spent a lot of money yesterday creating some videos, and I use the older version, not that it is expensive, right? It is pretty expensive,
Yeah,
but it is good.
the older ones. Yeah.
But it is expensive. So what we are trying to do is, and another thing is, we don't want to use a model which is hosted somewhere else, because for us safety is also important.
Mm.
So we have to have our own model in our own cloud. We are dealing with parents and kids. So whenever I launch this feature, like I can explain about safety security, but we are not leaving, our data is not leaving our system. At least the personal data is not leaving our system. If we delete the data here, nobody else has it. So I don't
Mm-hmm.
want to get into that trap that I'm using some API, I'm sending the photos. I spoke about characters, right? We are
Yeah.
Yeah.
generating. We are not sending that character to a third party API and then generating the outline. We have our model hosted in our cloud, doesn't go outside. We have to also take care of those things, which
Mm.
which is the hard work. Generating video is actually easy. We can take 11 labs or runaway ML or, and generate something. But yeah,
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, means the space, the niche which you are into requires that,
yes,
and the PII data which is there, which the personal information, which is
yeah.
also supposed to be secured. Yeah, I was coming
Mm.
on to the technology stack. You spoke about it a little. So,
Mhm.
what is running this ZoodleMe? What's the tech stack? Can you, if you are comfortable to share that?
I'll give you a high level.
Yeah,
I'll not give
Yeah. Yeah.
lot of details because that is what our
yeah,
Yeah.
that's
USP point
absolutely
is
fine.
here.
That's the reason I asked, like, if you are comfortable. Yeah.
other than the content, which is the story content, which
Mm.
this comes from Gemini. And the reason it comes from Gemini is because Google itself is worried about its reputation. So Google will take care of the content coming out of it. And then on top of that, we have our own layer of profanity check or safe for kids check. So Google gives us some security, and then it is our security layer. So that content or the story comes from Gemini. Every other model, be it image, be it audio, then we have another feature where when the story is spoken, we follow the text. So kid can follow the text. Like you see karaoke
Hmm.
music.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So our story also follows the text. So kids can follow that. So that is called forced aligner. All these models are hosted on our cloud.
Okay.
Right? So we use AWS and we use Cerebrium. Cerebrium is serverless cloud. AWS to
Mm.
run our backend. We use Google to generate content. So that's the only thing which comes where we pass on the age, group, and the gender to get the content. Of course, subject and topic. Rest of the things, whether it is image generation, character mapping, audio, and all, is hosted on our cloud, and that is how we are able to keep the cost low. Right?
Mm.
I will not. I'm at this moment. I can't give you the details of models and all, but all I
Yeah.
can
Yeah.
say is
Absolutely
that
fine. Yeah.
Yeah.
we have to keep our cost low to
Definitely.
scale it further, and hence, and we never know that tomorrow we might host the LLM as well on our cloud. Maybe a quantized version of the LLM. We don't need
Yeah.
whole LLM, right? So a quantized version. So we are playing around with that as well. We want everything to be on our cloud, so every data remains with.
Great, great. So even I could see the team on your
Hmm.
website. It's We find it interesting. So many people with a good experience and knowledge you could see there. So I think you are cooking up something good out there.
Yes, yes. I have been lucky with that team. I first met this guy, Suleiman, right? Very smart guy. So he has some crazy ideas. So to be
Hmm.
honest, setting up our own cloud infrastructure and all, most of the credit goes to him. And it
Okay.
was all his idea. And oh, actually, more credit goes to him because of the. So we have backups and we have backups. So if image generation fails once, there is another model to generate image. If that fails, then there is another model to generate images.
Hmm. Hmm.
Right? Because images are the attraction for now for kids.
Yeah.
We have backup and backup. So everything. So yeah, I've been lucky with that. I've got a good team. There are other team members as well who are like. So one guy is doing the game. There is another team members who are taking care of other designing and all. And very soon we'll be launching. When I say soon, probably by July, we'll be launching more languages. It is just English now, right? We'll be launching more languages. We'll be launching more English accent, and so yeah, there are a lot of things in pipeline. Every quarter, a lot of things will keep coming.
So how do you operate? Like all these team members, are you working together, or is it like different locations and then trying to get along?
It is all remote. All
Okay.
the team is remote, but we connect. We connect once or twice a week with the entire team. But then Suleiman is the core member. He's a co-founder, so I talk to him almost daily, if not daily, almost daily. But rest of the team members, I talk once or twice a week. I don't like this daily stand-up thing, right?
Hmm.
So I
Yeah.
believe in this. I have given you work, you complete the work. If you don't complete it, I will get to know after 1 quarter. I will know whether this guy is serious or not. And one quarter,
Hmm.
I anyway need to judge someone. So I have
Yes.
been lucky till now. Unless they have some genuine issues, they complete their work. So yeah, I don't have just that. If I keep my expectation realistic, they do the work. It's going smooth for now.
Great. Great. Great.
Great.
So we talked about your product. What was the inspiration behind, and how it got into being, and then you also talked about the step by step things, how to use that app and all. And then we discussed the tech stack, your team, and all. So now you have everything in place, like the product and everything. How you plan to market it? Like what's the strategy? What's the plan?
So we have divided this in a phase one and phase two kind of thing. So phase one is what where I want my platform to be intuitive enough for any users to use it. So for that, I am for phase one will be friends and families, WhatsApp group. I will reach out to the groups and communities and I'll release it to them and take their feedback more so from how convenient it is for you to use this platform. Of course, feedback we are getting, but more so with respect to the convenience. And I'll give you an example. We received a very good feedback where I explained you the process, right? You set up parent profiles, then you set up kids profile, then you go and create content. So someone gave this feedback for me to check the core feature of your product. I have to create two profiles. Like that's a valid point. So next week, within few days, we will release a new version where you create an account, you can generate a story right away to see how it works. So these are the smaller feedbacks, right? As the user, it should be user friendly more so because
Hmm.
I am when we are developing, most of the product designing is done by me, right? So I'm trying to make it as simple as from my end, but then if more it goes to more users, I get more feedback. So that is our first phase where we will be talking to our known people, our known circle. Maybe we'll reach out to 500 to 1,000 individuals and we'll get the feedback. That is where our phase one of marketing will take care. And after that, we have plan of. So there are 3 4 major things which we will do. Of course, social media marketing for the targeted parent group. We are also trying to, not trying, we have in the plan that we will be speaking to some social media influencers,
Mm-hmm.
micro mini influencers who deal in the parenting, childhood, or education space to talk about our product.
Mm.
We will be, so there are few forums on Facebook about parenting, uh, uh, kids teaching, or all those things. So we will take feedback from them. We'll have to probably offer them some premium features to go through that. So that is, so these are the parallel things we'll be doing. And then of course we will try to, not try, I have already spoken to a few daycares and child cares as to, because they have more
Mm.
knowledge about how kids will
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
understand the content or go through the content, or how teachers make use of all these things or not, because
Interesting.
they
Yeah.
can. And
Mm.
mostly out of India, it gets even more important because of the multicultural
Right.
society. Teacher belongs
Mm.
to one culture, but the kids are from 30 different
Different
cultural
cultures.
backgrounds.
Yeah.
So they will also make use of it. So I have spoken to them already, and yeah, we'll be talking to them as to what else we can do to make it better for you guys as well. So that will be our phase two, and then phase three will be like, as much as push we can do through social media and also.
Mm.
Hoping by
Mm-hmm.
that time our platform will be stable with all the feedbacks incorporated.
Yeah, great, great. Looks promising.
Correct.
As you have divided into phases and then
Mm.
primarily focusing on the feedback part. That
Yeah.
that is where the product refinement goes, and then finally you can push the full throttle
Yes.
once the product is full and final for the market. Yeah, understood. Uh, um, I'm just stepping back towards the technical part. I just wanted to understand the hallucination part and all those things which we have in the
Mm.
AI, as we know that it is not 100% accurate. They tend to fail, and when you have multiple steps, you being from the RPA background, like we are doing workflows which calls different AI components, and then put together we come out with the outcome. So if it is erroring out for like 98% for each and every stage, maybe when we club it, it would kind of come up with a different number itself altogether. So how you are handling that means what are the measures you have been taking, because this is the critical space to be in, the children's content and all. So
Yes, yes. That was the thing when we started, right? So we started with this thought that we will let parent generate any content for the kid. And this is where hallucination thing came up. And then we went to this thought of we will define the subjects.
Mm.
Hence we have subjects, and then we have
Mm.
topics. So parents are not free to generate a story about a flying unicorn through Indian Ocean. Right? Then it can do anything. So we say
yeah,
that subject is science, topic is evaporation. So we are
Mm.
giving a very specific instructions to AI. Right? Of course, we have option where parents can add their own subjects and add their own topic. But
Mhm.
when they do that, we will let them know that there will be a risk of giving some data which is not factually correct, but AI will be confident enough to tell you that it is correct. But when we, whatever we have inbuilt, right, we have inbuilt by trying that for these details we are getting the correct answers. And then there is a thing called temperature in AI. So that
Right.
the more you play around with the temperature, more specific or random response you get.
yeah,
Now in our case, wherever there is a fact based content, like science, like maths, their temperature is high. Don't play around. And then where there is moral science or finance, personal finance, there AI can play around, but still we have given the age group, we have given the topic, we have given the subject, we have given the topic. So we have given enough instructions to AI. So even if it hallucinates, it won't go off completely. It will be
Mm.
around that area where it is acceptable. So yeah,
Mm.
that's why we are not giving a free hand as to write whatever you want to write. We are guiding AI and parents both.
So the
Let's say.
controlled input is helping here, like you're taking the controlled inputs from the
Yes.
parents, and
Yes. So they
okay.
parents can do away with gender, they can do away with age, but they cannot do away with subject and topic. That is as going
Mm.
as a mandatory input. So,
So the core fundamental stays intact out there throughout the
yes.
yeah, throughout the story.
Yeah.
Okay, got it. So I would like to ask that since we have been discussing about ZoodleMe, we all know how potential AI holds these days, right? And AI is growing and like it is evolving day by day.
Mhm.
So tell me, what potential as an entrepreneur do you see ahead in the AI? Uh, let's take the example of ZoodleMe. What future do you see in the kids segment with regards to AI?
Before I respond, I'll change your question a bit.
Okay.
What potential I see in parents and teacher segment when ZoodleMe evolves?
Hmm.
Okay.
I have to take care of parents and teacher, and they have to take care of kids. I am not going
Okay.
to think on behalf of them for their kids, right? So I am helping them. So with respect to parents, I gave you enough examples as to what we are trying to
Mm-hmm.
do, and we will continue to do that.
Mm-hmm.
I want to add a teacher's point here, and this is our long shot. We are working towards that. But I'll take example of India. You can relate it globally as well, but primarily for India, right? We anyway have dearth of teachers, and top of that, good quality teachers for that section. Who becomes teacher nowadays in India? All those who don't get a good job. It is there's no disrespect for teachers meant here. There are really nice teachers around there, but they are very less, right? On top of that, these nice teachers, government teachers primarily, has to do election duty, has to do
Hmm.
some other in election. Teachers are used. I don't know why, but they are used, right? Now, if I can help these teachers standardize their education. So, for example, a teacher knows the concept of science, right? And
Mm-hmm.
but that teacher is has been explaining the same concept the same way for last 5, 6, 7, 10 years. They have not been given any teachings. Ideally, they should be given teaching every year as to now explain in this way or that way. The way of learning is getting changed, but they are not getting trained. If I can give them a platform where they were like, today I'm going to teach a age group of 7 to 8 years kid about solar system. So give me a funny way to interact with this kid. Give me some funny examples. It will give. The system will give. The system has enough funny examples. Just if teacher can still give that I am from say Maharashtra, I am from Pune. So just add some location references as well, and then give me some examples to keep the kid engaged. It will give, and then when teacher goes inside, teacher will be confident. Let's try something new, right? So this is going to help teachers at the lower age group. It is also going to help, and of course we will be building it for elder kids as well, where a kid comes who is a teenager or like 15, 16, 17 years old,
Mm-hmm.
comes, tell our system that this is my age, this is what it is. I want to learn about some topic of mathematics, for example, but try to explain me with some real life examples. I don't understand those wacky terms or something. Just make it a story. Just explain me, dumb it down and explain me. And we have a AI tutor who will come up and explain the concept. Then kid can stop the tutor, ask, I could not understand this, explain me further. So it will be interactive, right? And if we can build that profile for the kid, and this is like again long shot, but when we build the profile for the kid, every time kids come, our system will know that this kid has these strong points, these weak points. Let me, and this is what he or she wants to do. So let me make him or her more focused on that particular subject or topic. Right now they all go to tuitions. Again, standard way of learning. Teacher will prefer someone who is brighter. They'll not take care of the kids who are not very smart. And it nothing to blame teachers. They also have limitations, right? So they can't take care of all the kids equally. So and in this way, kids also don't have to shy asking questions, dumb questions. And I'm saying dumb questions because I feel sometimes when I chat with I ask repeated questions and I don't see AI getting frustrated. It keeps on giving examples. I have tried learning about quantum computing through AI from last 6 7 months. Keep on asking questions. Keep on trying. There, it is explaining me what is quantum computing in various ways. So if I can do it, anybody can do it. So that's my thought, right? So it is for parents, for teachers, and again, I'll repeat this. It is going to be a bigger issue for parents who have not seen life without devices. They will need bigger support. They are going to be in a nuclear family. They will not have support of grandparents or like we had, because families are getting nuclear more and more. On top of that, dependency on technology is something else. So parenting in general is challenging, and if we can help them through technology, nothing like that then.
Hmm. But since we are all discussing these points, so we can assume that all these points are theoretical right now, which we are
Mhm,
discussing here,
mhm.
right? What is your belief on the fact that how difficult it would be to implement it practically? Because the roots which we have of parenting and teaching and education, those are very traditional roots,
Mhm.
and that's why the methods are still old school and traditional right now, right? How difficult it would be to change those traditional methods to the technology driven methods, according to you?
You see, it is both difficult and easy. I'll tell you why easy, and then we'll worry about
Hmm.
difficult. You would have seen parents making reels with their kids, right?
Yep.
Many of them.
Many of them, yeah.
If they can make reels, they can use tech to teach their kids. So reaching them will be lesser of a problem, right? If we explain them how it is going to help you and your kids, they will be open to adopt it. Plus, of course, the limitation of the time and everything. The traditional route, or the parents who will be more wary about the technology, are mostly those parents. First of all, mostly those parents who are of my time. They have not used tech before, and there is like using tech can be a problematic thing. Someone who has used it is fine. Now, someone who has not used it and who thinks it will be a problematic thing, they have to leave the tech completely away. Only then they can say that I will not follow this tech way of teaching the kids, which they are not able to do. YouTube Kids or Netflix is anyway gotten into everybody's life, right? So we saying, like, I am not worried about parents not using tech. I am more worried about not being same as what YouTube Kids is. As to there's no filter, just give everything. So for me, it is like giving confidence to the parent that you are using tech anyway. You are giving screen time to your kid for 1 hour anyway. At least use this where you know what your kids are going to watch, or you decide for them to watch, right? And you can give them YouTube as well. In the 1 hour of screen time, half an hour you give them this, where they will learn and enjoy, and then half an hour you give YouTube if you want to. But that 1 hour of YouTube can still be reduced to something which parents can decide, right? So that is where I want to give the comfort. Technology has come into our life from zero. I have seen from zero to 80 90% of her time. So I'm not much worried about that. And the way AI is getting into our life very soon, you would have heard about this news coming in that mobile phones will be obsolete, or
Mm.
the form factors will change. The way we
Hmm.
interact with technology will change. Google just showed those XR glasses. Looks pretty sleek. I think in 2 3 years we will have those glasses. Technology is not going anywhere. It is only coming more into our life. So how do
Yeah.
we simplify it is what we have to try for. Is what my thought is for now, and we'll see how it goes from there.
Interesting. So, so as we are adopting technology day by day into our other tasks, parents should be more open to adopt technology into teaching and
Yes,
educating their children the right thing, the right way, right?
yes, yes.
Yeah. Okay.
In fact, they will be learning. They
Okay.
will be
Yeah.
learning. Most of the concepts we learn in school, we don't know the real time, real life applications of those concepts. So they will be learning
Mm,
through those tech. Okay.
interesting. So let's move towards the expertise area, your
Hmm.
expertise area, the automation and the RPA side. So as I was going through your LinkedIn profile, I saw that you have worked and involved with AI and automation strategies, even with projects involving Australian government, right?
Hmm.
So tell me, what kind of RPA implementations have you led across your journey? I'm not asking about the exact implementations. What kind of RPA implementations have you led, and how have those benefited the organizations involved?
Yeah, more than government, because I'm worried about giving government examples. I'll give you banks
Uh-huh.
examples.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, OCR I already mentioned, right? So
Right.
OCR is something. If so, there are 4 or 5 standard documents in any countries: passport, driving license. For India, it is voter ID card, Aadhaar card. Right? These are the and PAN card. These are the standard KYC documents. So if you can do the OCR on these documents 90 to 100%, means you can open the customer accounts immediately. Like,
Mm.
documents are valid, open the account. This process of doing OCR, just OCR, right, has improved the efficiency of, like I said, opening the account in 1 or 2 days to half an hour.
Mm.
Right?
Hmm.
This is just reading the document. Now there can be certain scenarios where some AML check is required, anti money laundering check. So generally banks have those anti money laundering checks, right? So if something has popped up, then you use RP as to, okay, for out of 100 cases, 10 cases has gone into AML check. Then you use RPA as to these 10 cases. Then RPA picks up. RPA is it is robotics process automation is what it is called, but it is basically your Microsoft libraries as to you have mouse click and keyboard clicks, right? That is how RPA behaves. Just give them the set of instructions. Right? In this system, you found 10 cases, open first case, see why it is AML tagged, go to another system and verify whether this is a valid tag or not. If valid, move it for manual verification. If not valid, pass it. We don't need any manual intervention here, right? So out of 90 got processed anyway. 10 were flagged. Out of 10, 5 were again processed. So only 5 left for manual intervention. You see,
Mm.
account opening happened in half an hour for 95% of the cases. That is one example. Another example was ATM. So this happens a lot. I think, I don't know whether it's still happening or not, but at that point in time, sometimes customers will withdraw amount from the ATM. It will say that they have withdrawn the amount, but amount would not have come for whatever reason, right? So those things gets added into ATM logs, and these are pretty standard logs. Now, generally, what happens in these cases, customers will call up customer care, raise a ticket, or they'll go to the branch and raise a ticket. Then the ticket is raised, it goes to a operations team, they go through the ticket, then they go through the ATM logs to figure out, then they check the core banking system whether the money was actually deducted or not, and then they reverse the transaction. RPA can do this without anybody's involvement, as long as there's a ticket raised. So RPA will keep on looking at the ticket. Ticket has come, it will open the ticket, it will go into ATM logs, it will look at the core banking, everything is fine, reverse the amount. Or in case there are cases where I've seen banks are not comfortable reversing the amount, like doing RPA, letting RPA do the financial transactions, at least they create a ticket for end users or the operations user that everything is perfect, RPA is verified. You take the action. You don't have to go through three different systems unless you really see any concern. Right. So these are the uh, quick or easy implementations of RPA. There are a few complex as well as to like I said about invoices, reading
Mm.
invoices, extracting the text, then putting into SAP system. Or there was a scenario where slightly complex case is there was an investment bank. I did a project for an investment bank where they what they do, they have lot. So they do financial, not financial, actually capital market transactions. So equity buying or forex trading. So there is this bank who does it for their customers. Now, what this bank has done, this bank has 7 or 8 channel partners who do it for this bank's customer. So
Mm-hmm.
each channel partners perform those transactions and
Mm.
either sends a screenshot that yeah we have done this transaction. So in a day, in a month, they will each channel partner will send around thousands of emails or
Mm.
screenshots. Then someone will have to manually go through those emails because they have to verify whether these 1,000 transactions are done in the systems or not. And based on that, the channel partners get their bonus or not bonus, their cut for their transactions. Right? So
Mm.
out of 800, 850 can be automated because
Mm.
shots are standard, right? So you do OCR, then RPA will go and see in the system whether the OCR content is matching with their transaction system or database or not. Create a summary report, 850 matched, 150 doubt. That will be only checked manually. So it changes. I mean, it gives them the efficiency of instead of 1 week, they could do it in 2 days. So
Mm.
all those kinds of time savings and all in general happen.
Mm.
Yeah,
A
Interesting.
lot done
interesting.
in government, but I will not give that example.
Yeah, yeah, not a problem, not a problem.
No, it's absolutely fine. But these examples were interesting to
Yeah.
hear about, and the one which you mentioned about the banking, because generally banks look forward to have as many account as possible because that
Yes.
is increasing the number of customers. So that's directly proportional to their revenue or profit, and that has speed up the process. And from the banking, I just recall one of the person from IIT in India who
Mhm.
had uh, developed a chatbot or a bot which the banks were using for the rural area, and they where the people are not educated and they do not know how to fill the form. So this bot was filling the form on their behalf, just based on
Oh
voice
wow.
or
Mm.
text.
Mm.
So they developed a product and they sold it for 50 crores to one of the companies. So that was the product
Nice.
which it sounds similar to me, like that kind of RPA was.
Yes, yes, yes.
And
Mm.
so yeah, it's really interesting, and I see that you have done this a long back, because now with AI we see these things very common in businesses or banking or corporates and everywhere. But earlier, in the earlier days, RPA was not known to people. So you have seen that era also, you are seeing this era also, you know the workflows, how the system works, one, two, three, four stages, and then the final result has to be done. So what change do you see that AI has brought up right now? These LLMs has brought up to these workflows, and what means? Just can you share those some details on that?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, AI has not been adopted to that degree yet, but there are
Mm-hmm.
few changes which I see now. First is
Mm.
API adoption has increased a lot. So
Mm.
RPA was flourishing when API adoption was not that good. Now API adoption has become very strong. But what AI is doing here is now, which is like UiPath and all have also started investing, is building those AI agents.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Now, these AI agents more or less work like RPA, but with way higher accuracy.
Hmm.
First thing. Second is they understand normal English. So you don't have to sit and code. So earlier, this was the scenario where a business team will give a requirement to a technical team. There will be a person sitting in between who will convert the requirement for technical team, and then technical team will code. That layer is collapsing.
Correct.
So you
Hmm.
have to write the requirement clearly in English, and these AI agents are doing that work for you on the
Mm-hmm.
same, rather immediately. This entire cycle of converting automation, from requirement to automation of 3 months,
Hmm.
2 to 3 months, is getting reduced to weeks.
Hmm.
So within week you can implement that automation and then move ahead. So that is something they have started doing now, though AI is way more capable than this. And I'll give you an example as well, and I think it will come up very soon. So generally you see, you would have known about CRM, Microsoft
Yeah.
CRM Dynamics and all,
Yeah.
right?
Yes. Yes.
Dynamics is Microsoft product end to end. Copilot is Microsoft product end to end. Very soon
Correct.
this will happen. That business user will tell Copilot that in CRM Dynamics I want a new feature to write down, and Dynamics will give the new feature in 10 minutes for business user to test and deploy. And I'm telling you this confidently is because, have you used Microsoft Forms? Very easy use case.
Yeah.
Try this. Ask a Copilot or ChatGPT that write me a prompt to design a form on Microsoft Copilot or Microsoft Forms. Sorry,
Forms. Yeah.
design a form on Microsoft Forms.
Hmm.
Take that
Hmm.
prompt, open Microsoft Forms. There will be a Copilot coming up. Paste that prompt, submit. Your form will be ready in 30 seconds. It just take 30 seconds for, and that
Based on
prompt.
the prompt only. Yeah.
Yes, just write
Hmm.
all your stories. I want these fields, these are mandatory, these are non-mandatory. You think anything else from your end, add those fields as well. Write that entire story. Put that into, and this is happening today. Like, I have done this.
Yeah.
So
Hmm.
it is very soon coming into CRM Dynamics. Agents will become a bigger of a deal than RPA or anything else going forward.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Very nice.
Mm.
Interesting. Yeah, I mean, things are changing really fast, and
Yes.
we could see more of things coming out, like the CRM integration and all, which you mentioned about.
Mm.
Hmm.
Great, great. So let's talk about something which you have been doing. Like you have been into job, then you are now currently into entrepreneurship, and so what's the difference? Like the mindset shift in being into these different hats, wearing those hats.
Yeah, initially when I started, right? I mean, this is a good question because initially when I started, I thought I'll design a product, we'll have a team, and we'll build a product. Like, there's a clear pathway, but
Mm-hmm.
there's so much of context switching as an entrepreneur. Like, you have to set up a company, you have to worry about legal issues. Any feature comes in, which country has what legal issues?
Mm-hmm.
You have to worry about your taxations. You have to worry about your payment, your finances. So sometimes it happens that I sit in front of laptop thinking today I'll design a new feature, and within half an hour I'll be checking this bank account, transferring money to this, talking to someone else. So this context switching is one thing, and second is, which I feel now, is your brain is always working. When I
Hmm.
was
Yeah.
not doing this, I
Correct.
will just say to my friends, Friday 4 p.m. Australia 4 p.m. Friday you can relax. Right?
Yeah.
Friday 4 p.m. That's it. Now let's meet and party and like till Sunday afternoon or evening. You don't have to worry about your work. And touch wood, being in Australia, weekends are generally free for you, right? But now it doesn't work like that. Now I go to bed thinking about some feature, and the team is in India, right? I speak to them,
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
and when I wake up, I'll see sometimes 70, 80 messages, sometimes 5, 6 messages, sometimes some emails, sometimes email from Sentry. We use Sentry to monitor APIs. So I'll see email from Sentry highlighting some API has failed, or some email from cloud that this model is getting discontinued. Last few weeks back, we got an email that Python, uh, Amazon is not going to support Python 3.8 or something. It's like, oh wow, now we have to upgrade our entire code base by this.
Mhm.
So always working. It's always working. So I always have to keep a note of this. This has to be done because with when you're doing a job, and when you're doing a like stable job, you can relax, and also you don't have to worry about things. Like I can suggest a feature to the team, and then it is their worry to go check with the legal or risk or compliance, and
Hmm.
they can take their own time. That is something that relaxation you don't get. But then when my app launched, and then when people started using it, and then within first or second days, I got paid customers. Like
Hmm.
no good feeling than that, right?
Yeah.
I was not expecting anyone to pay for the app to start with in the first 2 days, and I got premium customers. I was like, wow. So that is again a feeling which you don't get in even regular jobs. So,
Hmm.
so yeah,
Hmm.
there are pros and cons, but you enjoy what you do. Like something you thought of, you designed. It came from your head, and now it is there for everybody to use. That's
Hmm.
there's a proud feeling for yourself. Whether somebody else comes and tell you or not, you can be happy about it. So that's
Yeah,
Yes.
that's definitely a great feeling when you have an idea in your mind and you were able to implement it well and it worked out everything. It
yeah.
worked the way you wanted, and now you can you can take rest peacefully.
You can't take rest, but you can be happy about it.
But you can be happy about it. Yeah, correct, correct,
Yeah,
correct.
you can't take rest. That is a thing, but it's
Yeah.
okay. I'm not complaining about that. It's just that this is the context switching is a bigger major change is what I have seen. I mean, thankfully my wife doesn't complain a lot, or my daughter, but I'm like some weekends also I'll be on my laptop sometimes. Not always. I'm not
Hmm.
saying working
Hmm.
24/7. Nothing like that.
Hmm. Hmm.
But earlier we used to have more free time. We could go watch movies on weekends. I We don't do that a lot now. Most
Hmm.
weekends we are at home. So yeah, that's the
So,
compromise.
so by wearing one hat, the another one, the entrepreneurship one, you have to wear many more hats now because
Yeah,
you're switching
Uh,
consistently from
yeah.
one role to another because everything you have to take care of, and
Mm,
it's like your child. And even as you said, like once it gives you some initial perks like the paid customers and all, so it feels good also.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, fine.
hmm.
There's one thing more I would like to highlight. When you're building something, right, you will do it with all the love. Like I'm building the best thing, and sometimes you get a feedback as to, if I can say it in Hindi, ये क्या है? ये समझ में नहीं आ रहा है मुझे. Like, okay, tell me properly.
The
What
level
is
of frustration.
so you thought that you've done some amazing job, and like, everybody will understand it. Forget about liking it. Liking is the second stage. First of all, they have to understand what you have built, right?
Yes.
There it is like I'm not able to understand. Like,
Correct.
oh, okay. So that grounding you get instantly is also important. But yeah, it is
Got
what
it.
it
Got it. Got it. So, like, this was actually a very great conversation. Just last question, and we can wrap this conversation up.
is. Mhm.
So, you have, as we had a lot of discussions, you have varying perspectives about AI. Like, uh, there are many perspectives out there with regards to AI. Some say that AI is going to replace our jobs. Some say that AI is going to generate jobs. Some believe that AI is going to create millionaires, billionaires, or companies with just one human employee out there, right? And other employees is just intelligence out there. So there are a variety of perceptions out there regarding AI. What is your belief in the long term impact over employment and innovation with regards to AI? What is your take on that?
I think it will do a bit of both, in the sense
Okay.
it will replace jobs. It is already replacing jobs, let's be honest.
Mm-hmm.
But it will create jobs as well. Now,
Mm-hmm.
this is the thing with AI, right? AI has made journal knowledge pretty democratic, generalized knowledge pretty
Yeah.
democratic. So the value will remain in the specialized knowledge. Now, I mean, most of the tech industry, if you see 70, 60, 70% of the tech industry run on the generalized knowledge. Specific
Mm-hmm.
knowledge is less, right? So that
So
is,
that's a blunt truth, huh?
I mean, you have been in, you know corporate world. I've seen corporate world. So
Yeah.
I mean, let's not fool ourselves by saying that nothing will happen. It will happen,
Mm.
and it's not just tech industry. Have you tried uploading any X-ray or anything on AI?
Yeah.
So I don't know. I mean, even radiologists are also not very safe, right? Legal advisors, if they are very generic legal advisors, they are also not very safe. But this is what happens when challenged, something new surely comes up, right? So
Mm.
general knowledge will go away, but because we are challenged, specific knowledge will come up. And that is where I see, I mean, I can guarantee in next 2 years we will be seeing a new movie or TV series on YouTube or Netflix, completely built by AI and by some tech people. No bigger banner or brand. Or in fact, within next 2 3 years, we will be uploading our medical reports, lab reports on
Mm.
AI chat GPT instead of going to radiologist.
Mm.
Or like I said, that we had layer of a business user, a person converting the requirement to technical, and then a developer. This will become a one role,
Yeah.
right? It will not need so many roles. Or someone using Copilot GitHub can do the job of 3 or 4 developers. And this is my personal experience. A good developer actually doesn't like leading a team. If that person is good, they get irritated with the inefficiency. So they will leverage GitHub Copilot or Cursor and easily do the job of 3 or 4 developers, which they are already doing. Like
Mm.
I can code now, and I'm not a coder, right? So it is. I'm sorry. I think I can
Yeah,
see
yeah,
some.
yeah. Yeah, yeah. I guess your daughter's here.
Sorry
No
about that.
worries. No,
No,
it's
not a
okay.
problem. Not a
Absolutely
problem.
fine.
Yeah, absolutely
So
Yeah.
fine.
this is the product is all around kids, so we need to see kids, no?
Some
Yeah.
cameo appearances has to be there for the kids, no?
Yeah. You are right. So yeah, what I was saying is that I mean, saying that AI will not impact jobs, there is no need to sugarcoat it. It is already impacting, but it is not going to change the job market like completely, and you will see unemployment everywhere. That will not happen. The only concern I see, I mean, this is my personal concern. It is like it is not documented or anything, but the larger corporates will become more powerful, which
Okay.
in US we are already seeing. Like when if you take top 10 names from US out, it is very difficult to name other companies in US.
Mm.
So
Mm.
that problem is going to become bigger and bigger. So you are right in saying that one company, a one person company and all, but that one person company will be half owned by a larger company,
Okay.
right? Some funding or something. So it will happen. Like Replit is making hundreds and millions of dollars of revenue with I think 30 employees, or
Yeah.
Anthropic has some.
Yeah, it started.
All right, yeah. So like I said, you will have one person. I mean, one person is simplifying a lot, but yeah, 5 or 10% company making $1 billion valuation or revenue. But again, having said that, those 5-10% company will be owned by 30%, 40% a larger investor or corporate. So that large company will become bigger, and that is one thing which is concerning. I mean, it is one thing saying that LLMs has made everything democratized, or AI, but end of the day it is owned by large corporates, right?
Mm-hmm.
Mm,
It is like saying cloud has made everyone, infra has become very easy, but then the top 3 or 4 cloud providers takes all the money end of the day, right?
Correct.
mm,
So it is,
mm,
so that gap is increasing, and it will increase. Like, I don't see other way around, because they control the data, so it started from there, right? So that
mm,
will be there, but of course it will give a lot of options to people like us, to build something around this whole infra. So it is going to be a lot of interesting things coming forward, but one thing is very clear: any general knowledge or any generalized skill set will not be appreciated a lot in next 5-6 years. We'll have to be good at something, or if not anything, we have to be so good at our soft skills, and our we should have some USP as to, even when we're using a model, AI model, we
mm,
should train the model such that that particular model is unique than rest of the other models. So even if
mm,
you're technically not good, just train the model based on your USP, that it responds slightly different than every other generic model. So yeah, that is something I think will happen. But yeah, jobs are going to get replaced.
okay,
Mm-hmm.
interesting
Mm-hmm.
insights. And with that, I believe that, as you said, that's 100% correct. That a single person company will surely be, occupied or have a higher equity with the
Yeah.
larger companies ahead, because the fuel that is required to train AI data, or essential data, it is with them, right?
Yes.
And to have a symbiosis between the smaller parties and the larger corporates out there, there has to be some contract between them. And that is why I think this statement holds completely true, that a larger equity of a smaller company would be owned by a larger corporate
Yes.
thing.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So I think that was quite a good conversation here. Thank you so much, Anuj, for
Yes.
being on our show. And just anything which you would like to address to our viewers, if they are watching the podcast, anything would like to say about
Well,
ZoodleMe
first of
or
all,
about this?
sure.
Uh,
Thanks for inviting. It was
yeah.
it was a good conversation. You guys are doing some great jobs specific to AI and knowledge around AI, because whatever people say about being overhyped, I would say it is still underhyped.
Okay.
If someone is saying AI is overhyped, maybe they're not reading or understanding about it. So yeah, all I can say is, again, I don't want to paint a dystopian picture as to everything will become dark and sad, but things will change. Everybody whosoever is listening should learn about AI in whatever capacity they can. You don't have to be a coder, but in any capacity. If you're a
Mm,
content creator, or if you're a creative person, AI has something for everybody, right? So that's the only thing. Just don't ignore it. Don't think that it is like some other tech which has come and it will go away. It is not going away. It is rather going to stay here and going to change the way we live our life in next 5-6 years. Things will be completely different. That's it.
mm,
Thank you.
thank you so
Thank
much.
you, Anuj. Appreciate having you here, and you are have taken a very really great initiative on behalf of the parents. So,
Thank
best
you.
of luck for that.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you, guys.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.